Today I'm going to talk about mistakes very, very differently. And I'm also going to explain how it can hold you back from your self-development, self-awareness, and to have a Kundalini awakening when you are afraid of making mistakes, because this unrealistic, perfectionistic reality creates this illusion that you cannot have mistakes and you must be perfect. So, first of all, you have to really learn to break this self limiting belief down that you must be perfect, you cannot make mistakes, you cannot have negative thoughts, you should not have negative behavior, you should erase your animalistic self, and you should hold yourself to high standards, and you should go towards perfection because the ultimate goal is to erase all sins and become this perfect being. But in reality, the end goal, what you are going forward to, and what spirituality is talking about, is actually wholeness. And wholeness doesn't mean perfect. Wholeness means wholeness, that everything is there, everything that is perfect and everything that is imperfect. And when you see this duality, you will understand that perfect means that it's in perfect order, that it has to be in this way, and it doesn't mean that version of perfect that there is no mistakes and no sin and no negativity. And even when you go into quantitative analysis, which was one of my most hated subjects during my bachelor's degree, you will find something that is actually very helpful. And it's that, so quantitative analysis is like business analysis. You try to predict certain outcomes, so you can come up with business plans that reduces the probability as little as possible of failures. That's what this is. And there was one key element in it that I really want you to take home, and it's that 10% failure equals maximum probability. What it means is that 10% failure is completely normal. If you have 10% failure, it means no failure. It's already calculated in the scenario that the very maximum is actually that not the 100%, it's that you can only get to 90%. And if you start to see yourself like this, that there is a calculated probability of failure that is completely normal and accepted, you are going to be a lot more relaxed. That even in the business where there is no emotions and everything is just numbers, they already know that 10% is equals perfect. Another thing I really would like you to take home, this is from one of my favorite TV shows, from How I Met Your Mother. And there was a conversation between Lily and Ted about mistakes, where Ted tells Lily that don't go there, it's a mistake. And her reply, this is what I really love, it's that I know it's a mistake, but I have to do this mistake because sometimes you know it's a mistake, but at the same time, you don't really know that it's a mistake until you make the mistake, and then you look back and you say, aha, that was a mistake. So what she really talks about is that sometimes we know that something is a mistake, but we are not 100% sure about it. And we have to really do the mistake to be certain that, okay, it's really a mistake. So you gain certainty and you can kind of learn from it, because a mistake is only a mistake if you don't learn from it. And that's another very good way of seeing things and getting away from this, oh my God, I'm terrified of doing anything new because if I make a mistake, that's a problem. No, a mistake is not a mistake. It's a learning opportunity. And you cannot grow without making your mistakes. And it's even said, I think it was Einstein who said it, that if you haven't made a mistake, it only means that you haven't tried anything new. It means that you haven't pushed your boundaries. You are still in the same safe harbor where you keep repeating the same things that you learned from a childhood, and you are afraid of testing things, because when you test things, you are going to fail. You are going to get hurt. And this is where I'm going to invite you for another huge mental shift, getting out of perfection. And it's, again, I'm going to use a business term, and it's going to be R&D, and it's called research and development, which refers to the period. This is a very, very long period of time when people come up with a new technology or something new, and it takes years sometimes to come up with that, and they pour millions and sometimes billions of dollars into that, and they make thousands and thousands and thousands of ways that the machine or technology didn't work. But as soon as they get it right, those thousands and thousands of mistakes don't count anymore, because they were not, this is what is said, that they just found the ways how not to do that. So it's like you try to get which door opens out of 10, you have to go one by one. And there is no other way than failing, that this one doesn't open, this one doesn't open, this one doesn't work. But as soon as you got which one works, it's going to worth all this effort. Just imagine if it didn't work, we wouldn't have anything new. People wouldn't pour money into research and development if it didn't work. It means that it's working. It's worth to waste the time, waste the energy for some period of time, because at the end, as soon as you find the right path, the right way, the right technology, all of this is going to come back. And the very last one I'm going to bring up, and it's going to be again from business. So my background, I have an MBA, that's business, and I have studied a lot in marketing and sales, and I work in marketing and sales as well. And this is actually a marketing and sales strategy that it's again about, I would say, failure, but it's not failure, it's testing. That when you come up with a new product, or when you try to sell something and you do a sales strategy or marketing strategy, the way you should see it is that you have either 100 new products, I just say it now, it's just to see it easily, or 100 ways of advertising that product. And the way you should see it is that about 94-95% of these new advertisements or new products is going to fail completely. It's a waste of money. But then there will be 1 or 2 or 3 that is going to break even, or it's going to bring you a little bit of profit in it, but there will be always 1, 2, or 3. So it's a very, if you see from 100, it's like 1, 2, or 3%. That is going to bring so much money in that it's going to cover all this loss, and you will know what to do, because only from these you are going to know how to go forward, because that's when you say, oh my God, I hit the jackpot. Now I know exactly what my customers want or how they want it. And it's going to bring you so much money in that it creates a lot of profit. And this is how you should see your mistakes as well, that you can mistake. But the mistake, it's not like you do the exact same thing, because there is a huge difference between doing the exact same mistake over and over 100 times, or you do 100 different versions of mistakes, and that's how you actually test which one works, which one not. Because as soon as you do this, that different versions, that's not a mistake, you are testing what is possible, what is not possible. And that's a key point when you want to change. And it's also about how to go inward, because to have an awakening, you have to go inward. And inward means that you engage with these repressed parts, and when they come up and when you examine them, you are going to see very dark, very disgusting things that are labeled dark and disgusting, or labeled sins by society, by religion, by whatever. It doesn't really matter, but an outside, an external source. And if you keep listening to that external voice, you are more likely to repress them back. And it's just like, no, you don't exist. I'm going to repress you. I'm going to destroy you, whatever. But you have to realize that those are not mistakes. Those are certain development steps that you have to go through in order to integrate them. So this is what they should actually teach us, how to integrate these parts. Those are not mistakes. Those are necessary steps. These aren't or whatever, in order to get to the end. It's like telling a person that being a baby, you were a disgusting piece of shit because you could only eat and you could only cry. That was a waste of time. And when you were 2 and 3 and whatever, you are only worth anything when you are at least 20 or 25 years old, because that's when you are independent and productive. But you have to realize that this statement is unrealistic. We all have to go through these parts. When we are not at the best part, we can't do anything. These are necessary developmental steps, and you cannot start from age 25. You have to go through these stages, and this is exactly what you are going to find when you go inward and you see very, very dark parts about yourself, that those are necessary. And as soon as you start seeing them very differently, that's when you can accept them. Because without accepting them, again, you are unable to integrate them. And you have to be able to also recognize that we all have exactly the same nervous system, which means anything you find, my dear, it's in all of us. Don't feel afraid, don't feel threatened. It's only the degree is going to be different, how much you feel it. But again, anything that comes up and you are just like, oh my God, what is in it me, or what is this thing in me? It's going to be in every single human being on planet Earth. There is absolutely no exception. I hope this video was helpful for you to be able to connect with your holistic self, and see you in my next video.